Hey there. So, if you've ever had a huge loan, like for a house, and you've looked at your statement after a couple of years and thought, wait, why has my loan balance barely moved? Trust me, you are not alone. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on this whole thing. It's a concept called amortization, and it's about to make a lot of sense. It really boils down to this one simple question. You send that check to the bank every single month, like clockwork. But have you ever stopped to wonder where that money really goes? Because the answer, well, it's not nearly as simple as you think. And this brings us to what I like to call the payment mystery. It's something that trips up pretty much everyone who has a big, long-term loan. So here's the crazy part, right? Your payment amount is fixed. It's the exact same number every single month. That 2,000 bucks you pay in month 1 is the same 2,000 bucks you pay 20 years from now. But, and this is the key, what that money is actually doing for you, oh, that changes. It changes dramatically. Let's break it down. And the solution to this whole mystery, the keyword, is amortization. I know, it sounds super technical and complicated, but I promise, once you see how it works, it's actually a pretty straightforward idea. All amortization really is, at its heart, is a roadmap for your loan. Just think of it like a schedule that lays out every single payment you're ever going to make. And it shows you exactly how each one of those payments chips away at what you owe. See, every payment you make is really 2 payments in one. It's split between 2 different buckets. You've got the principal, that's the chunk of money you actually borrowed to buy the house. And then you've got the interest, and that's just the fee the bank charges you for the privilege of borrowing their money. That's it. Principal and interest, that is the whole game. You know, the absolute best way to get this is to see it in action. So let's tell a little story. Let's follow a totally typical 30-year loan and make this all crystal clear. So let's meet Sarah. She just bought her first home, congrats Sarah, with a $300,000 mortgage. It's a standard 30-year loan, her interest rate is 7%, and her monthly payment for principal and interest comes out to about $1,996. Sound familiar? This is a super common scenario. Okay, hold on to your hat because this is where the mystery really hits you. That first payment Sarah makes, almost $2,000, you'd think it would knock down her loan, right? Nope. A whopping $1,750 of it, that's 88%, goes straight to the bank as interest. Only about $246 actually goes to paying off her house. She's almost entirely just paying the bank's fee. But now, let's jump forward in time. We're 15 years in, halfway through the loan. Her payment is still the exact same, $1,996. But look at this. The split is totally different. Now it's a perfect 50-50. Half goes to interest, half goes to principal. This right here, this is the tipping point. From this day forward, every payment she makes is going to attack her debt more than it feeds the bank. So what's going on here? Why the big shift? Well, the logic is surprisingly simple. Interest is always calculated on how much you still owe. So at the very beginning, you owe the full $300,000, so the interest charge is massive. But every month, as you slowly, and I mean slowly, chip away at that principal, your loan balance gets smaller. And when the balance is smaller, the interest charge on it is smaller too. That frees up more of your fixed payment to go towards the principal, and it just creates this awesome snowball effect over time. No, this isn't just some interesting financial trivia. Knowing this stuff is actual power. When you understand how this system works, you can start making way smarter decisions about what's probably the biggest purchase of your life. First off, it shows you the true cost of borrowing money. If Sarah just plugs along and makes her minimum payments for all 30 years, the total amount she'll pay just in interest is, well, it's just staggering. For that $300,000 loan, she will have paid the bank over $418,000 in interest alone. Yeah, that's more than the entire value of the house. But here's the good news. Here's where the power comes in. Understanding the system shows you the escape hatch, because all that interest is loaded up at the front. Even tiny extra payments you make, specifically toward the principal, have a massive outsized impact. If Sarah just threw an extra $200 a month at her principal, she could save over $100,000 in interest and be debt-free years and years ahead of schedule. So now you've got the knowledge. The question is, what do you do with it? Let's talk about some of the smartest next steps you can take. Okay, here are 4 really important things to keep in your back pocket. Number 1, those early years are super heavy on interest, which means you build equity, the part of the house you actually own, very, very slowly at first. Number 2, because of that, any extra cash you can put toward your principal in the first 5 or 10 years is like a superpower. It has the biggest impact. Number 3, before you start making extra payments, just give your lender a call and ask if there are any prepayment penalties. Some loans actually have fees for paying them off early. And finally, number 4, just remember that the total check you write every month is usually bigger than this principal and interest payment because it often includes something called escrow. That's just a separate pot of money they use to pay your property taxes and homeowners insurance for you. When you get right down to it, amortization isn't just some boring bank term. It's the rule book for the game you're playing. And once you know the rules, you're not just a spectator anymore. You're in a position to actually win. You're the one in control. So there you have it. You now see exactly how the system is designed. But more importantly, you see how to make that system work for you. So the only question left is, now that you know the secret, how are you going to take control?